In this video, we're going to put these rims on my Silverado. These are actually 24s by 12.5. You can see my little rim back in there. But they're also 35-inch tires. Pretty big difference. I do have a leveling kit on my truck, but I actually let the keys down a little bit because the road's so rough. So it's gonna be a challenge. I already started working on this side. You can see what I did there. Kind of cut the fender a little bit. Then do the same with the bumper. So I'm gonna walk you guys through doing this side. Then also we're gonna change out the headlights and the tail lights. I have some blacked out headlights and tail lights, LED. But I think it's gonna definitely change the looks of the truck. I'm also take my step bars off. I said it last video, but never got around to doing it yet, so I might do that too. So with that being said, we're gonna get to it. If you guys haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you guys enjoy it, give me a thumbs up. And if you got any questions, leave me a comment and I'll try to answer them. So before we get started doing this, it's very important to make sure you don't have anything loose. Which I just replaced most of my stuff on the front probably 5-6 months ago. But with them wider tires that stick out, you're gonna have more leverage on your suspension components and steering. So if you have bad stuff, it's gonna make it a hell of a lot worse pretty quick. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the tire off, then the mud flap. The mud flap, normally all the screws and bolts are in them, but this one has one Phillips. I think normally there's 2 Phillips down here. Then this one has one 7mm, and also I think there's supposed to be 2 of those. And then down underneath there's a 13mm. Now we're gonna pull the inner fender well like halfway out. So you got some push pins. Then up top you got some 7mm, depending on how far you want to take it out. I'm just gonna kind of pull it down so I can do some work back in here. I decided to just take the whole inner fender well out, so this way I could actually record a little better. So basically what I did was, you pull this foam out. Well, unfortunately mine tore, so hopefully it don't catch on fire while I'm cutting. My goal when I cut my fender out was to stay in where the mud flap goes. So you can see the dirt line. The reason for this is if I ever go to sell a truck or decide to go away from wide wheels, I just let mud flap back on here and won't be able to tell this cut. So I saved the piece from the other side. I guess it's backwards, so I think it'll do no bit of good. I was going to try to trace this one, lay it on there, so I can kind of make it the same. But I'm sure I can eyeball it. Nobody can see both sides at one time. But anyways, I did a little something like this. You kind of see that line. And then I also came in here. I think I cut like down, then straight across here. I took that out. There's a spot weld here. Gotta grind it. Then this pinch weld back behind the fender. I cut it here. Then I kind of tapered this off. Then I cut it up here and I folded this over. Now most people fold it this way, but I didn't want to do that and dirt and stuff get stuck behind it, so I figured I just make it go that way. But I'll show you guys as I do it. All right, what I did was I measured the piece I cut out the other side. So it's about 5 inches up from the dramatic bend, I guess, and then 2 inches over. So I marked that out, and then I drew kind of a half-ass line that goes down. So it gives me kind of a guide to go off of. And then we'll make this one not so dramatic, the point. Pretty much got it all done. It's not terrible, but you gotta make a lot of cuts in order to get to everything because all the folds and stuff. So this, I'm gonna try to round it off a little more instead of having like that sharp little point. In order to get rid of that all the way, you're gonna take it way up, but I don't really want to do that. I already didn't want to do this. And here I went straight across. I may take this up a little more, and the reasoning for that is so it's not so much, the more inner fender well you have, you know, sloping down, the easier the bend will be instead of it just going down and dropping straight down. So I might do that. There's the weld, the pinch weld I did. I pulled it over that way, and then I kind of put a taper on all these corners just so it looked a little better. And then I had to cut the inner portion of the fender out. So I'm gonna get a flapper wheel for my grinder, go through, clean all these burrs up. I don't know if you can see them, but go through, hit it all, and then I'm gonna get some primer and spray paint so this way keep some of the rust out. But the way I did it, you could pull some of this stuff up, but I feel like that's just, I live in Ohio, so there's salt on the roads in the wintertime. I didn't want any pockets where salt would sit. So as you can see, just go straight through. This kind of slants down, so it should fall out theoretically. And then there's really nothing here for it to stick into. So that's just my thought behind it. Maybe it wouldn't. And of course it has an inner fender well over it. So now I gotta clean that up, and then we'll go ahead and cut the bumper. I got that all painted. I kind of went pretty heavy on the paint, but it's alright, it's not going to be seen. The only thing I don't know about, I know I'm looking for, so yeah, that's why it's bugging me. There's a nice white edge now. I'm sure it won't be so dramatic after I clean this from where the mud flap was sitting. But I think it turned out pretty good. Small little run there, but like I said, ain't gonna see it. I went and taped the bumper off where I'm gonna cut it. So now I'm gonna cut from about here all the way down. What I did is I found eyeballing it where it kind of curves. I kind of just kept with the straightness of it. I mean, it's still all curves, but I just feel like that right there is the best spot to go. I think I went over far enough, but again, I kept the other side, but it's backwards. I don't really sit up against it. But by touching this, looks kind of similar. Maybe I can go over a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and get it cut, and then I guess throw the inner fender wheel back in it. I got the bumper all cut, and I painted the edge of it because I'm not sure if it'll rust or not. I imagine it probably will. I should probably paint it black, I don't know. Now I'm debating on cutting my inner fender well right here, just because for one, the bottom piece is missing, and for two, before I got it, it looks like somebody was rubbing pretty bad. So I'll probably trim that up. And since I cut this one up higher, the backing, the one right behind the inner fender well, it's actually got a nice little slope to it. I didn't even heat it up. Actually, it flows a lot better. So you can see this one, how dramatic this bend is. And the problem with that is when I put a self-tapper on both sides down here. So when I did that, it sucked it in, and it actually pulled this in. So these tires, since they're not offset, when I turn really sharp, they actually rub. So I'm gonna probably pull this inner fender well out and do the same as I did the other side. Take this up a little higher and round this off a little better. Now, this one actually stays. Maybe I should cut it to make it match, I don't know. I still gotta clean up all the burrs and stuff. But I ain't gonna show you guys this side because I just showed you the other side. Now I'm gonna put my wheels on to make sure, well, for one, they're going clear, and for two, I don't want to have to put these ones back on and take them back off and all that, but I don't think my truck's going to fit out with the lift. It's really tight now as it is, so I'm scared I'm going to go through all the trouble putting the other rims on and not be able to get it out. There's that self-tapper. But overall, I like this side a lot better. So I'm going to probably go and put the wheels on. Hopefully it clears. If not, I'll have to jack it up. But I gotta see if it's gonna rub or not. So after I get the truck sat back down, actually, I might go and rip these step bars off. Probably a good idea. I got it on. Now obviously there's no pressure, I guess, on the suspension. It's just free hanging. It did kind of rub one spot right there, very little, and then it touched right here, but this is still flappy. I don't know what to do about this. I might put a zip tie on it to hold it back, but overall I think it's going to clear. This rim is massive. Alright, so in order to do the step bars, you have a total of 6 bolts. There's 3 that go up. Right, there's one. Then there's one on that bracket and that bracket. Then back here, going up to the inner rocker panel, there's one. You can kind of see it right there. And those, I do believe, are 13 millimeter. Alright, that side's off. It's actually a lot easier to do it on the ground. You get a creeper or lay on the ground, and you can actually, most of the time, let this fall on your chest. These little hooks will fall on the inner side of the rocker panel, so it won't go all the way down, but then you just drop it down, put it on your chest, and scoot out. So we're gonna pull the other side off and fix this, put this rim on, then I'll get back with you guys. Got all of them on. The rear mud flaps, the screws are all rusted, so I ain't got no good drill bits here, they're all at work. So I used a dull one, and as I was drilling, it wasn't going anywhere, but I was heating the screw up. I was able to pop the mud flaps off and then use vice grips. I did that to both sides. I don't really stick out too far. I personally want them out a little further, but a lot better than stock anyway. I have some spike lug nuts. I know they're probably out of style now, but I've never had them and I've always liked them. So, unfortunately, it's my truck and it's what I want. So now the only thing left to do is start it up and turn the wheel. See how much clearance we got. I only put 4 lug nuts on the front because I'm probably going to have to take them off. It's full lock, but it is rubbing back here still. it's like 1/8 of a turn on the steering wheel and it clears, so it's not that huge of a deal. So it does still rub a little bit, as you can see the dark spot right here, but I think it's pretty good, really. I don't know, I might be able to get out. It's like it's barely going clear there. Barely going clear there. I don't know. Find out tomorrow, I guess. So that's probably gonna be about it for tonight. Tomorrow we'll get the headlights and taillights done, but I think it looks pretty damn good. I got one headlight put in. It's pretty simple. So you take your top cover off. Those are a bunch of push pins. Then you pop your grill out. There's some clips that go into this. Looks like this right here. I just grabbed some needle nose pliers and squeezed and pulled out. There's also 4 10mm nuts, or bolts, my bad, that go along the top of the grill. Then you have 3 10mm bolts for the headlight, one there, then I put this bolt in. You gotta pull this inner fender well bolt out. Then right up in here, there's a bolt. It goes like right here. Then you either take your top bumper off, which I did not do. My wife asked if I could just take this off, this bracket, which is 3 10mm bolts. And then my light just kind of slid out off to the side. It was actually pretty simple. Then obviously reverse the process. So now I got this one to go. So the tail light's a pretty simple change out. There's 2 screws in here. Mine were Phillips. One there, one there. And then the light pulls out this way. There's 2 prongs that go right here into the body. So you gotta make sure you pull straight out. Then your wiring runs down through here and up through here. And there's a module right underneath where they plug into. They both go to that module. So I washed my truck. I drove it today. The tires do rub a little bit at full lock, but for the most part, I think I can deal with it. You can kind of see the scrapes right there where my finger is. It's mainly on unlevel ground, like pulling on my driveway. They rub pretty bad. But I think it looks pretty good for the most part. I kind of want to stick out a little more, but I think if I did that, then I'd have more problems. So I was only get some 2-inch spacers, but I think this right here will do. I think it looks pretty good. besides the black rims. They're growing on me a little bit, but I'd rather chrome. Here soon, that's getting fixed. I'm probably just gonna buy a patch panel for now, so end up cutting this out. And then weld a new piece in and body filler, paint. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up this video. I was gonna do more of a in-depth tutorial on the lights, but I kind of had to rush to get those done because I had somewhere to go. So hopefully you guys can figure it out. If you got any questions though, comment down below and I'll try to answer them. I think for the most part, the truck looks a lot different now and a lot better. So if you guys enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you got any questions, like I said, leave a comment and I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.